let's get started. Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Yaroslav Burchenko. I'm a market analyst at Olymp Trade, and I am here today to talk to you about the changes that are in the financial market, specifically the US stock market. And the reason why it should interest you as a topic is because it is a prime market to make money. We'll cover the other little sectors that are also tradable, like the real estate sector, that you should also have a look at because there is some hidden potential there. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. Guys, the first thing I do want to ask you is if you can hear me and see me. Now, on the screen, you have all of our social media pages that you should definitely link up to find more information on different events and prize giveaways that we may be having in the near future. So once again, that is our YouTube page on Olymp Trade Global, and we also have an Instagram page and a Facebook page right there for you. So what do you have on the screen here in front of you is the basic dollar index. The basic dollar index gives us a lot of insight because the entire US economy, and I would like to say 30 to 40% of each other country's budget, is held in US dollars. The reserves of each country include US dollars. You guys may have not known that, but in some country it goes up as high as 30 to 40%. So very important currency to keep track of, and the basic dollar index gives us a story. It tells us a story of how the US economy is faring. So we can see here on the graph around April is when the coronavirus pandemic hit the entire world. That's when it covered all of the stock markets, and that's when the US dollar started to decline. This big fluctuation you guys see here was kind of the gyration of when markets started to panic. Initially, we had, the US dollar was a strong currency. It's unfortunate that we can't see leading up to this, but it was increasing. It was getting higher, and then all of a sudden we had a massive drop when the pandemic started to transfer out of China into other countries, when the surrounding countries were infected, and US was infected quite early as well. And then we had the markets price everything in, and kind of the chaos hit everything, and that's when the US dollar spiked up to the highest it was, and from there was a slow leg down. But let's focus on what we are seeing today with the US dollar. So this first line we had was the initial impulse out of a bearish correction. We were moving out of the US dollar weakness, and that's when I first started paying attention that the US dollar is no longer a good straight cut investment opportunity. Like before, you can invest in the stock market or you can short the US dollar. Those are the best investment opportunities throughout the coronavirus pandemic. And then once the world started to stabilize, we can see the US dollar, this second line, is making an attempt at transitioning over to more strength. And that's what we see across a lot of different pairs, where the US dollar is taking control and showing strong signs of a reversal. So why does that matter to us if we're looking to invest in stocks? The main thing that it shows us is a reverse correlation. So if the US dollar falls, then the stock market goes up, as we saw here. Where now we're having a different situation where the US dollar is rising and the stock market is being on uneasy footing. The reason we're talking about this, and the topic of today, so this is Mahad Sadiq Akbar, the topic of today is what is changing in the financial markets and why investing in tech stocks like the FAANG stocks, and we'll go through them here today with you, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, why are they falling, first of all, or they were falling at the end of last year, and what can we expect from them in the near future? This is really strong information because these stocks are very powerful. I'll give you guys some investment ideas. I actually have a watch list right here that we're going to go through today together with you, and I'll give you guys some other investment opportunities despite or instead of just Forex trading currencies or commodities. We're going to dive deep into stocks, we're going to dive deep into other sectors, and you guys make sure to ask your questions in chat. This is a live conversation. Mr. Ideas is asking, sir, how to earn money easily? So I don't know about easily because the work still lays in front of us to sit through the webinar and kind of listen to the ideas that we may have for you today. But the topic is the tech sector. So let's start with having a look at the Nasdaq index. I'm going to go ahead and open up on the fixed time trade platform because we have the biggest history here. So when I open up something like this for you guys, this should really make those people that want to make money easily get really giddy. This looks, from a year's worth of data, looks like a really good investment. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we strive to do as traders, as investors, is come up with the most easiest investment opportunity possible. And so investing in tech stocks has been the best investment over the last 15 years, maybe more. Since the 2008 crisis, tech, even before then, even during the 2000s, tech was a fantastic investment opportunity, and it still is today. Let's talk about other sectors. Let's have a look at the real estate. Say you were investing, you wanted to buy a house, and you may have thought that would have been a better investment opportunity than the Nasdaq. Let's go ahead and open up the U.S. real estate. So real estate also has been really growing strong, and I wanted to cover this with you guys in a different company. But right now, keep in mind, this is the U.S. real estate market. This is an ETF that encompasses a lot of the key players. So we have the year 2021, stellar, fantastic for it. But then the previous years, they had some hiccups. This is what the coronavirus pandemic did to the U.S. real estate market. And this is what the U.S. market was showing before then. Again, it was a steady line up with a quite a significant correction. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. So it was kind of, going up. We started from 85, 86, and we transitioned to 95, then to 100. So it was in a general state of bullish growth, but not like the Nasdaq. Not like the Nasdaq. I'm gonna show you guys an example of, or not even an example. I'm gonna show you a live comparison. So the Nasdaq index is the triple Q. So this is the Nasdaq here, and just to show you how serious and how incredible the gains that you could have gotten. Let's take it back to even 2016. Like I don't want to go too far back into time because the numbers get even crazier. So this right here, this black line represents the growth from 2016 up to where we are today, and it was a massive 276%. So if you want to multiply your earnings 100-fold and then 200-fold within the course of 5 years, tech is definitely the way to go. Now there are certain companies that that blow that out of the water, like for example Tesla. We also have Tesla on the platform right here on the Forex platform and on the Stock SPT platform. This is important to keep in mind. But Tesla, if we have a look back to the same year, 2016, which again, mind you, this is a bit of a cheat. 2017 was the year that Tesla blew trading out of the water. But let's just go from 2016 just to compare both prices. So from around here to where we are today. And this line is 1,513% increase on your earnings. Oof. There was a period in 2017, I took it back down here, and that was a whopping 3,000%. 3,000% growth if you would have bought it at the right time and stayed in it. So the reason I'm showing this to you guys is to again outline exactly where you should be looking to make good earnings in the market. And let's go through the list of all of the IT companies. Well, the FAANG sector, if you ever watch US News or watch kind of Yahoo Finance or any kind of those channels, you will get a sense of that, FAANG was really, really hot leading up to 2019 and before we got into the, coronavirus pandemic. And so investors on with the kind of propulsion continued investing into FAANG until there was some downside. So let's look at the downside that we have had in the FAANG stocks. Apple is at all-time highs. So this is all-time highs. There were a few hiccups, and this was the area where people were wondering if FAANG stocks were no longer to watch out for. But how do you trade something like this, guys? I want to show you, give you a trading strategy to those of you that may not know it. So we have a top-notch stock. Apple is a top-notch stock. Any one of the FAANG stocks is actually a top-notch investment-grade stock. And we're looking for when they come up to all-time highs. So we're at around all-time highs right now. We touch the line, come back down. We are looking for a breakout. So when we do have the breakout right here, this is when we start paying attention. Again, trading is not a race. We're not racing to get in a trade. We're waiting to get into the best position possible. And so the best position possible, the first signal, I wish I could draw, let me just a sec, guys. Let's do it like this. So this is the screen that we have. This is the area that we're looking at. Right here is the first signal that we have. This is our number one candle that indicates that this is where we pay attention. So in your trading plan right now, we're paying attention. The very next candle reversing down is the best buying opportunity after the breakout, number 2. This is the best risk to reward ratio, but it can get very tricky. Some people can use this area as the breakout and then this area as the bottom area. So there is the possibility that you can miss that. If you do, no problem, because besides being the best risk to reward, you can look for a candle that has the highest trading potential. And what I mean by that, if you're trading on FTT and you're trading on the 1 hour time frame and you're using the 1 day time frame as your signal, that's a great strategy. That's a fantastic strategy. Not the other way around. You don't want to be looking at a 1 minute graph planning a 1 hour trade. All right. So you want to look at a high time frame, get your trade signals there, and then enter on a lower time frame. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So the second area is the best area to get in for us to reward, but the most rewarding area moving on is the massive breakout candle, and I'm talking about this big green candle. But some of you will ask, but Yaroslav, we had several candles that on a shorter time frame would have given us trade signals. And what I'm talking about is this breakout right here, then this breakout right here, and then finally we get here. So I see what you're saying, but you can also take a look again at the daily graph and see that both of these were false signals. This was a false continuation. If this was really a breakout candle, which it could be, it arguably could be, but the best signal again would have been a continuation candle where we have some continuation there. But again, this big green candle would have been on a daily time frame. So let's get out of this and drop down to a 1 hour time frame. This is what it looks like. This is what a 1 hour breakout looks like, and then a continuation. Keep in mind, Apple is only open 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day. 8 hours a day is when the markets are open. So Apple has a trading span of 8 hours. And so you really want to watch the first hour of trading. Have a look at this. This is the 27th. This is the 30th. So this is the newest day. This is the day, the day's open for the following day, for the following week even. This was a Monday. And so this big open breaking through the level that we had previously outlined here. So this was the level that we are now watching. We had an initial attempt. It was a good breakout. I guess you could see that. Let's see when the market open was. The open was right here. So if looking at this situation, how to trade it, this is a tricky situation. Again, trading is not easy. That's why I kind of asked the gentleman in chat, how to make easy money. I guess that this is the wrong place to look for it. This is not easy money. This situation would have been difficult to catch. On the 1 hour, it came up, but the close of the 1 hour came right here. And I constantly tell traders to watch the first hour of trading, and that's why I use the 1 hour graph for my entry signals. I trade less. I trade much less than your average trader. I make maybe, I don't know, 3 to 4 trades a week. So to me, the 1 hour graph is perfect. And this is, I guess, what I'm trying to recommend for you guys to use as well. Let's go on because we have a large list of assets that I want to look at, and I also want to open a trade. I actually have my daily tasks for today is to open a trade for at least $30 in the up direction. You guys can see that they all have kind of the same motive, going up at least 30 bucks, and they have to be profit making. So I'm looking for five $20 to $30 profit making trades in the up direction. So obviously the stock SPT platform is good for me. Also, before you guys start trading anything, of course, have a look at the indice that you are going for. So the Nasdaq indice, again, we want to look at the first hour of trading, and it's not come to an end yet, or has it? Yes, first hour has come to an end. So it's been pretty bullish. This is a good time to buy. So again, back to the stock SPT platform, we had the likes of Apple. Now let's have a look at Amazon. Amazon, same thing, guys. This is the level. This is the pullback that would have been the best entry point. And then this is the breakout that would have been the best follow through moment. So notice how the breakout, when it's there, it's quite significant. For those of you that really want to trade FTT and trade within the hour, that's a good hour to keep in mind. Again, the theme is reoccurring. The first hour in trading across all US assets has a very strong trending possibility. So if you want to trade something like maybe 40 minutes or 45 minutes, witnessing the first 15 minutes of trading, that could be a thing. Again, I don't practice it because it's below my time frame, but if you like quicker, shorter time frames and you want to be at the market every day, I think it's a good trading strategy. Again, remember the Apple example that I showed you guys. This candle, this 1 hour candle right here would have chopped you up. So you would have lost money on this candle, but then think about all the other days where you would have won. Right here, this first candle, I guess, is difficult to trade as well. With experience, you'll understand which trades you should take and which you should leave alone. I have this sense now, if you notice how I analyze markets, there's just some trades that I don't want to take. They just look bad for me. So Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Netflix. Google experiencing the same thing. The first open was really good. Give it time to correct, and then from the bottom of the correction, if we continue up to make new highs, good entry point. So you guys can see the kind of the motif here that we are looking for trades or for stocks that are really trendy, that have a good risk to reward ratio, but are also worth, oh, excuse me, not Nike, Netflix. That are also the worth. This is one more parameter that you really need to keep track of, is how much the asset itself is worth, because we're looking for something that is smaller. We want a smaller costing stock to buy more of it, so that when it changes for a few dollars, we make more, right? If you buy 100 stock and it changes for $2, then you make $200. If you buy 1,000 of that stock, then that's a $2,000 gain. So that's where price of the asset itself comes into play. I'm gonna have a look at your guys' questions because I see some of you guys are really anxious to get some questions answered. So Udeep Raj is asking, give us some information about indicator fixed time. So fixed time trading is, like I said, there has to be, in my mind, when I trade fixed time trade, there has to be some sort of impulse or some sort of, like a great example here would be the, I think, Aussie, Swiss franc. Look at the way that this asset, like, it's crazy volatile, right? This is crazy volatility, but look at the way that it follows this pattern. Let me show you real quick. Look at the way that it breaks out of trend lines. So we have a line here. We have a line here. Right? And you can actually do the same thing from the bottom up. So this would be looking at the 1 hour time frame and trading for, say, a 3 hour period. This would be you don't even need these oscillators, although they do help. Like, I want to keep all these things on and draw those lines on top of the graph. Like, let's analyze the situation right now. First thing that comes to mind would be drawing a trend line from the bottom. And as soon as this candle breaks out to the bottom here on the 1 hour graph, and we have a confirmation that the CCI say is below the 100 and or even below the 1, if it's below 0, excuse me, if the CCI is below 0, that's a big indication of shift in trend. Right now, the Aussie though is trending, guys. They had their GDP data come out yesterday. It was really good. They had like 9.6% growth yearly. Oof, really strong growth, and that's on the back of really strong commodity trading and just the monetary practices, the stimulus. Their real estate market though fell, so I do believe a lot of it is due to the high price of copper. So the copper has been growing, platinum has been growing, palladium as well, I believe. Gold though paints a different picture. It's been struggling, like oof. My recommendation is stay out of gold unless you have some really strong insider information. Like this is this just chops people up. Really difficult to trade gold right now, but a really good rate of return if you start to understand. Remember that same principle that I showed you guys can really be used, but this is a good example of why it's difficult to trade gold. Like have a look at this, right? We have a massive downtrend, and then when we break out of it, right, you would be inclined to buy. But then why drop even lower? Like this drop lower is called stop hunting. A lot of big money firms, or I believe it's banks that do a lot of the gold trading. I believe a lot of the golds, they stop hunt. Like your stop loss would be down here if you were to buy around here, correct? That's the most obvious stop loss, so that's why they knock this area out. But anyways, gold is a different monster. It made me a lot of money. Like a lot of my account was due to gold trading, but that was like in 2019. And so lately, I've been trying to stay away from gold because I've been having a difficult time understanding why it's moving the way it is. How do we set a good indicator for profit to be consistent? That's Octan VN asking. Well, the indicators you want to set, they would be optimal to have a big picture view. So I have several moving averages. Like if we get rid of this trend line, I have the 100 EMA, 50 EMA, 200 EMA, and inside the Bollinger Bands indicator, there's actually another moving average right here, the simple moving average. There we go. And it gives me another moving average. These are levels of support, resistance, breakout levels. When they cross, it's a change of trend or it's a change in momentum. And then oscillators give me an idea of how far things should, move away, because all markets move in waves. And that's why I recommend having a few oscillators that show you different things so that you can understand the wave pattern better. And that's what the Bollinger Band indicator is for as well. If you notice price, well, you price usually, again, gold is a very bad example of but say the pound dollar is a really cyclical currency that moves, from down to top, from top to bottom. A really poor example, I guess, as well here. But from down to top to bottom to top is something that you can expect from most financial assets. And even though they don't do it all the time, like say here, they do it enough for it to make you some money. Top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. If you see what I mean. If it comes down to the line and doesn't go down below it, like see how these are fake breakouts below it, you would need to close the position from top. But it's a totally different trading strategy. If you're interested in learning the Bollinger Band strategy, I'm sure we have it in the help section where, again, you can find that information here. Help, and then how to trade. Nope. Not special materials. Where is it? Help Center. Here it is. In the Help Center, guys, keep in mind this is what it's called. Like you see, it takes some time to find. Help Center allows you to see a lot of guides in pertaining to trend indicators, technical analysis. Here under trend indicators, you can probably find Bollinger Bands and how to read Bollinger Band signals. If you guys are interested about learning how to trade using the Bollinger Band and you want me to publish a full-blown strategy, go ahead and write that in the comment section below. Not in chat right now because we're about to wrap up the webinar, but in the comment section below, if you leave a desire to learn about it, I'll teach you guys maybe next week a new strategy, or not new, but a working strategy with the Bollinger Bands. What to watch out for, when to close the trade, say if it's not going in your favor, to not lose the entire stop loss amount. So some really good insight there. Bharat Kumawat, we are looking into having Hindi localization. Unfortunately, we do not have the specialists on board now, so it will take you some, if you could just hold on a little bit longer. 1 minute, 2 minute time frames I don't use. How to gain trading experience? This is a good question from Drew Verti. How to gain trading experience quicker? Should I just watch trading charts 24/7 or read chart patterns? I really want to learn. Currently, I don't have an idea where price will move. So the best thing that I recommend to do at first is watch how other people trade. We on the Olymp Trade channel have a lot of live trading sessions, and during that time an analyst basically just trades and talks to you about what he's doing and what he sees in the market. I try to do that in a lot of my webinars so that you can kind of see what I see and do what I do, and that way I explain some mistakes that may be awaiting some of you. I show good trading opportunities. So really watch out for those webinars because I believe they have the highest value to new traders. I definitely recommend studying chart patterns, studying the classical technical analysis, and you can find a lot of that information again on our channel or on the internet, in books and so on. Another important thing you guys may overlook is to motivate yourself. Trading is hard and you're going to lose money in the first little while, so you better have a backup plan to why you're going to continue doing it, or else you're just going to give up like almost everybody else. When I first started trading, I would maybe watch trading movies. There was a trading TV show called Billions. I know it's really far-fetched, but it motivated a young specialist at the time. And so that's what you really need to look into, is how you're going to motivate yourself when it's going to get hard. And it's going to get hard all the time. Like, I have losing trades all the time. So it's not something that goes away. I feel bad, all the time when I'm trading. It's just a different kind of feel bad. I don't take it personally. So can I show my previous trade? Actually, I still have my Caterpillar trade, man. I've been looking at this trade for a really long time. And it's just, I'm probably going to have to get out of it, already taking a loss. I've sat in for $400 worth of commissions overnight. And I should have taken it here. I drew the Fibonacci retracement here, making plans, my grand plans of making $16,000, and it looks like not today, or not on this asset for sure. Yeah, I may just have to take it. I don't want to take the loss. I may have to take it sooner. I still believe that the Caterpillar is going to be growing for the rest of the year, but honestly, looking at the financial reports over the last little while, I can't say that it is. So Caterpillar is part of the S&P, and it's also part of the Dow Jones. Like, see, the S&P is at all-time highs. The Dow Jones is, I believe, also at all-time highs, or was lately. Yeah. I'm actually looking for a few more trades to open, guys. I wanted to leave these with you before I go. So American Tower is a real estate company. They sell American real estate, and they're really something to watch out for. As you guys can see, they dip down to the bottom Bollinger Bands, and it's a really good buying opportunity. So write this down, put it on your watch list. I know they just blew off. I was waiting for this area to touch down here before buying. I kind of missed it, but definitely on my watch list. So Analog Devices just recently bought a Chinese company. I would say Nvidia is going to make the most amount of money out of that deal, but it's a little bit difficult to read the graph. But man, I wish it would just come on. So Nvidia you can actually find here. Yeah, we're 2 weeks too late, but after the deal went down, it was a great buy. let's see some of the other AIG, guys. AIG is another. This is a insurance company. Insurance company. This is it right here, guys. So this is the deal I'm going to leave you guys with, and I'm probably going to buy into it as well. So AIG has recently backed some more real estate deals and also packaged them up, and is insuring quite a lot of the derivatives that we have flooding the world right now. And they have recently broken out of this kind of top that they had. They're also at all-time highs. They've broken through this top when then we had the correction down to the centimeter of the previous price open. And then we have across, if you guys have a look at this blue line, it's crossing all of our moving averages to the top. Then we have the 50 EMA crossing the 100 to the top. So whatever this was, this correction is now finished. And if we have a look, historically, it does get crazy. It does have long periods of downtime, and it's difficult to pinpoint an entry, but always from the bottom of the Bollinger Bands graph is the best entry after it breaks several moving averages. So we broke several moving averages, and now we're moving up to the top, and we're above the line here. Even if we do come down, the maximum would be to 49. Again, even if I buy in now, I will definitely give me a sec, guys. I'm going to calculate my trade amount. So I'm going to buy about 55 units of this stock. So you guys were wondering about how to place these trades. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to buy 55 units at 54.66. Now this is going to be my long-term trade that I have open. This is going to stay open for I guess for the foreseeable future, and just to show you guys again how the insurance industry, how it rises as stocks fall. This is another thing, like if we're waiting for the US dollar to rise and stocks to fall, then definitely going to be looking at buying into insurance. Real estate, I'm not quite sure about where it's going to go, but again, if you guys want to learn more about real estate, ask about it in the comment section below. For today, we're going to wrap up the webinar. I want to invite you guys back next week, where we're going to have some great information for you. Now, next week, we already have planned, so if you're going to ask for a webinar, which I definitely recommend you do, go ahead and plan for the following week. All right, so looking at the month of September, tomorrow, guys, I want to invite you back tomorrow, where we have for those of you that were looking to make trading easy, looking to make getting in and out of trades easy, I'm going to teach you some really important tips and tricks. So out of all the webinars I would recommend you definitely visit the one tomorrow. It's going to be at the same time, same place. We're going to be starting looking at the US market, the US dollar, and then we're going to branch out into the other excellent investment opportunities and different trading tips that I'll have for you guys that day. All right, so thank you all so much for coming. Again, if I have not answered your question, if I have not answered your question, please go ahead and ask it in the comments section below. That's it for today. Yeah, you guys. Tomorrow I will be having a contest. So for those of you that leave your comment with your account ID, I will make sure to hold a raffle so that you guys can earn those prizes. All right. So thank you so much for coming. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.